Okay, so starting. Day 5, we have a few more topics, and we can see how much interest there has been created. You can guess from the echo in the class. Screenshots, everyone, so please try to send them before next. Always a reminder. And also go for that $85 exam instead of $150. But go for certifications. Otherwise, looking for a job or a decent job is much difficult. If you already don't know that, you will know that. So try to give as many certifications as possible. And this is a track you should be taking. Well, just a suggestion according from the market analysis and those who are looking for jobs and are getting the jobs, good ones. So you should be MCSA, SharePoint, SQL Server, at least VMware, Cisco, and ITIL, these 3, and MCSA, 4. So companies are going for multiple skills, and when you are really expert in one thing, then big corporates would be interested. Otherwise, they would want you to do the job of 5 people, so don't have to pay. So the companies don't have to pay for 5 people; they would just pay you. So they would want to know how many certifications you have, and you would be surprised that so many candidates have so many certifications now, and they are preferred as well, and they are called by the recruiters. Anyway, another reminder as always. So let's get back to the topics. We always check our services of the servers we are responsible for. Suppose you're in the production environment, you would every morning you would be going to check services for the most critical applications, event viewer for most critical servers, disk space for the critical ones that or for all of them. Just create a script that would just go ahead and check the free space for the servers in C drive, D drive, or email me and I'll send you the script for that. And you can evolve the script into checking all the other things that are critical in a production environment when you're responsible as a system admin. So let's go ahead, and we are going to be talking about and doing some labs for configuring and managing SQL Server instances. So what to consider for SQL Server deployment, but that's not the SQL Server, but other. So today's lesson would be deploy and configure analysis services, deploy and configure reporting services, deploy and configure SharePoint integration, full text indexing. So we're going to be talking about and trying to understand how these components work in a SQL server environment. Configure SQL Server integration services security, configure file stream and file table, and design and manage file groups, standardize and configure databases. We won't be able to cover all these today, but it's still that third chapter we are on for the book that was recommended, and it has 2 lessons. So I'm just adding all the topics, but we're going to be nearly completing those topics in today's and next class, the next Saturday. So implement and configure contained databases, very important feature that you should remember if you're going to be a DBA. Configure data compression, transparent encryption, so security and performance. We're going to be talking about configure table and index partitioning, so indexing especially we're going to talk about and do the lab for. This would be searching for different words, so all the queries, the search is always there for all the documents that have been collected and are being saved every day. So whenever you want to retrieve a specific document from among thousands of documents, so how smart is your search and how relevant is the search result. So manage the growth of log files, use database console commands. So we're going to be talking about all those. Again, the basics, some SQL syntax basics as I added last time as well. select, update, delete, insert into. We're going to be using any of those commands, and we have been using these commands, although there are a lot more, but these are the most common one that we're going to be using. So going ahead, this is also a good practice to have numbering enabled for giving the commands when you're giving SQL statements, SQL queries, writing down. So this is what we did last time, just a reminder. So this topic was left last time from the last chapter, using WSRM, Windows System Resource Manager with multiple database engine instances. So Windows System Resource Manager enables you to allocate system resources to specific processes, such as different database engines instances. This is also WSRM is going to give the services of assigning hardware, especially the memory and CPU resources, to specific instances. We have already 2 instances installed in SQL Server, and in both of our SQL servers, in fact 3 instances. So we can assign separately memory and processing for specific instances and the processes that require them. So this is still a Windows Server 2008 environment related resource. So if you join a job and there you have Windows Server 2008, then it will be WSRM that you should be using as well, or maintaining the database from within the SQL Server as well. We can install WSRM only in Windows 2008 because WSRM, you can see WSRM is deprecated in 2012 Windows Server, so it's not there in 2012. It is a topic in the book we're following, and it is an exam objective also in SQL Server exams 70-462, but this is for Windows Server 2008. This service was available and is not available in Windows Server 2012, which we have right now, over which we installed this. So this enables you to allocate processor resources to different instances, something you cannot do with Resource Governor, because Resource Governor works on a per instance basis only. Main thing is that whenever you join a job in medium to large size organizations, it's always the case that you would find older operating systems and older versions of editions of applications. So definitely you would be seeing this Windows System Resource Manager, and how to control. Maybe your boss asks, okay, go ahead and control that. So we cannot say just, it's deprecated in 2012, so I don't know. So definitely 2008s are still available in large quantities in huge organizations, Windows Server 2008, and older editions of SQL servers are still working, and they always migrate very slow. So maybe in next 2 years you might not see 2008, but for now they're here. So we should know all the older technologies as well. Since we have Windows Server 2012, we cannot actually use it, but we should know at least that WSRM is available in 2008. So cycle SQL Server error logs. The SQL Server error log stores information about processes so that have completed successfully, such as backup operations, batch commands, and scripts. So the thing is that the logs which are saving all the data for us, those logs can be maintained by us. We can give a command and those logs could be deleted. Those logs could be updated. It also stores system information messages indicating issues or failures, and each time the database engine instance is started. So when we restart or shut down and start our database engine, the current error log cycles or restarts or resets and is renamed error log 1. So whenever the engine starts again, the file named errorlog1 becomes errorlog2, errorlog2 becomes errorlog3, and so on until errorlog6. So the file name changes according to if the engine, database engine, is started for some reason. So we should know the location as well for the logs. It's C program files, Microsoft SQL, setup, bootstrap, log file. So I'm just going to go back to my servers, and let's go back to the server. And okay, it's kind of clear. So just trying to track the location of the logs, and for that I guess we need to log in. Of course, I forgot to. Since I just logged in, so first thing I would surely do is go to run, type services.msc, enter, or go to tools and go to services. At least check against automatic as a best practice that all critical SQL services are running or not. And software, no, we don't need those, which are stopped. They're not that important, but critical services are running related to SQL Server, and I can see that yes, those services are running. And also tools and event viewer, just checking if there's no long line of red events or critical events that are showing. So I'll just go to Windows logs and application. So seems fine, no red line, red errors or critical errors. Okay, there are some, but and they are relating to log files as well, which we are about to check actually. But they are Windows related errors and not SQL related, although SQL of course is installed over Windows, so definitely we should be seeing all those red events as well. But just for daily practice, when we go to the office in the morning, that's a few things that we always check. And of course the disk space then, so we checked yeah, disk space, easy. But when you have 200 servers, 100 servers to check, and you're responsible for 100 servers, 200 servers, or 50 servers, then it's you cannot just log in remotely like this one by one. It would take a lot of time for this. So there are all the scripts that do that, and it's how you want to do it. You will evolve a script and keep adding more codes to that would check different components of your 500 servers or 50 servers. Anyway, so I was trying to check the log files that are recycled, or not recycled, cycled, reset, and they play an important role in keeping important information for all the current tasks that are going on. So first, of course, I have to start the SQL Server. So I'm just going to go to Management Studio and try to search first. Yeah, there it is. So SQL Server Management Studio. And we have 3 instances here that we installed. So anyone, I'm just logging into the default one, or you could just log into any one of those. Okay, should put that to magnifying. So the first one I added. We can add any of the others as well. And today we're going to be talking about the working and deployment of analysis services from the command prompt, as we know already, and we did install from the graphical interface the analysis and reporting services. Okay, so this is started, and what I wanted to see was where the log files are. If I go to the Windows Explorer, go to C drive, Windows, and not Windows, sorry, but to program files and to SQL Server. The version 11, and it has several instances, so their separate folders are created. MS SQL Server is the main instance, then base instance, and alternate is the third instance we deployed last time. So I'm just going inside one of those, MS SQL Server, and then keep going inside, and there's a log folder. So the path would be C, program files, SQL Server, MS SQL 11, MS SQL Server, and then this again. The log, when we double click the log, although I would want to go to bin as well just to check, but there's that, and there you go. This is the error log 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 we were talking about, and it goes to 6. So we can recycle, or whenever we start the database engine, these are created, and then as we try to do a lot of tasks on it, they get saved here, they start filling up, but whenever we stop or restart the database engine again, they again are reset. And so there is that there are other error log files as well, fd launch error log files, but the ones we are talking about is this. So if I go back to my slide and we talk further, as we now know the path. So these error log files are for this particular instance. So if I want to check the other instance, there's a best instance here as well, and if I go keep going down there, the log files for the other instance, of course they also have error log 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So if I go back to the slide, so the file named error log 1 becomes error log 2, 2 becomes 3, and on to 6. The maximum number of error logs that you can keep is 99, and SQL Server 2012 default settings retain the current error log and the 5 most recent error logs. So SQL Server always retains the current and 5 recent ones. Other than that, so that's what we saw there, the current one and the recent ones, or the latest ones, we saw those, and other than that, so the true or false would be error logs are cycled, so new set of logs are created to retain data. Is that true or false? Error logs are cycled, so new set of logs are created to retain data. Reset or made empty or deleted, or okay, you're saying false. Okay, anyone else want to give it a try? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was, there was no warning, so I'll give a warning like 2 slides back. True false coming, toot. There will be alarm as well, right? So but it's just that whatever we are reading now, it's going to be from that. The file named error log 1 becomes error log 2, 2 becomes 3, and so on until 6. The maximum it goes to 99, and SQL Server 2012 default settings retain the current error log and the 5 most recent error logs. So and what was here, SQL Server log stores information about processes that have completed successfully, such as backup operations, batch commands, and scripts. It also stores system information. So it stores a lot. Each time the database engine instance is started, the current error log cycles and is renamed error log 1. Hence the true or false. Error logs are cycled, so a new set of logs are created to retain data. Yep. So exactly as you said, that it just cycles or resets the log files to create new ones to retain data. So you can force the error log to cycle without restarting the database engine instance by running the following transect SQL code. Let's just execute this one, or run this one. All you need to do is just type this in the new SQL query, and it's going to reset those. So I'm just gonna put it here. So if you just go to the SQL Server and put this, in fact, let me just put that copy. I'll go to the SQL Server, turn on the new query, I'll put that on. So new query, when we put this here, and I'm pasting this, you can execute this, and it's just going to reset the logs. That's what we want to know from this. Yeah.
Only does it for that specific instance or all of them?
For the specific instance, exactly, which we have opened now. So if you put that and select all and execute, what it does is excuse me. So DBCC execution completed. If DBCC printed out errors, they would be in, so what it does is either you have shut down the database and started, and then it would have the new set of logs, or without restarting, you would just go and put this command. And so anyone can know what would be the scenario where you do not want to shut down the database, but you still want to reset the logs. Anyone knows what the scenario could be where you would want to run this command and do not want to lose connectivity with the database, or shut down the database, or restart the database? So if you can have a total of 99 error log files. Suppose you have those 99 error log files and they are of big sizes, and you are running out of space now. You want to get rid of those, and you don't want that disconnectivity. Maybe there are hundreds of users connected to your database right now, so you don't want the database to restart actually. Once you restart, of course, hundreds of connections, maybe in cases thousands of connections are affected by that. They do reconnect after you have got the database up and running. Or if you are using always on technology or clustering, of course, then there's high availability. If you don't, if there's only one single database, this is the command that would not disrupt the user connectivity, and as well as reset the logs, saving the space of the disk drive. If the disk drive is full, the database will shut down anyway, right? It will stop working if it runs out of space. So you need to really retain those connections. So you would be running the command to at least reset the error logs if they are the cause of filling up the space, right? Okay, let's go. So done. And if you are taking a screenshot now, it's a smart way to do that. Not a very long lab, but there are some longer labs coming, or time-consuming ones. So let's go ahead and try to check other features. In fact, okay, and I have to play with this magnifier always. I have to. Okay. So and one more thing, or later. Okay, so there are this the next task is to go for the components of an instance. We were talking about other components, but now we need to go a little more in depth into those. Configuring SQL Server 2012 components, additional SQL Server components, manage and configure databases. There are so many options that it's overwhelming. But when you are at a job and it's your job at stake, definitely would want to know those options before you're required to actually configure them. So let's go ahead. As a DBA, or if you do not specialize in databases and you don't want to pursue that career as a database expert, still databases are everywhere. So as a system administrator or as any application specialist, suppose you are exchange server specialist, suppose you are BlackBerry server specialist or SCCM or SCOM, databases are there, and that's why if the more knowledge is better always, of course, because they will be there wherever. If it is IT, there will be databases that you have to encounter and try to maintain in most cases. From small to medium-sized companies, at least you will be the one running the whole show. In large organizations, it's DBAs who are specialists of maintaining the SQL Server environments. But you will be interacting for your servers, you will be contacting those DBAs. So Microsoft SQL Server 2012 database administrators must be able to deploy not only the database engine, but also analysis services and reporting services. So these two services we get to know a little more now. Analysis services and reporting services in either native or SharePoint integrated mode. We already went through the course of SharePoint, kinda. So, well, kinda in the way we did it. So we learned the new file table feature and configuring integration services security, support for file stream, how to create full text indexes. Some of these options are kind of tricky to configure, and it would require some retries. So design file groups, partition tables, and indexes, but we need to understand first what they are, so we can do that. And how to configure transparent data encryption and data compression. Some of that we will be trying to attempt today. So analysis services. Analysis services provides a range of solutions for building and deploying analytical databases used for decision support in Excel. So it is used for deciding. So it contains all that information that you would analyze about any business, different aspects of any business. It would intelligently present to you in a way that you will be able to decide what to do next, what course of action to take. So there are services that you could input data into, and they would create reports in such a way that you would be able to easily decide and go for some business decisions, right? So there are some packages or applications that the analysis services connect with. Excel, Performance Point, reporting services, and other business intelligence applications. So it provides a range of solutions for building and deploying analytical databases used for decision support. Main thing, decision support for businesses. So the more information in proper way is presented to our CEOs, directors, the better that decision making is, the easier the decision making is, if critical data is in front, and properly placed. So this is job of DBAs, that how they configure it and how do they present the reports. So when installing analysis services, you can choose whether to install it in multi-dimensional mode and data mining mode, or in tabular mode. So multi-dimensional, there are 2 dimensions. You can go in the past, in the future. Okay, so anyway, boring. So already we have a huge amount of machines here, and some students as well. Let's go ahead and already what we installed here, by default what we install is multi-dimensional mode, but we're going to try to install the tabular mode as well, where we can present data according to as the relation database works, or in tables and rows and columns, the database is presented as well. Mode is specific to an instance, and if you want to use more than one mode, it is necessary to install more than one analysis services instance. So tabular mode, for any different instances, we would have to reinstall the analysis services for that particular instance. So we can check now which instances of ours has the tabular mode installed and which do not, and we will be trying to install that. So question is, analysis services and reporting services are part of instance features or shared features? If you're about to perform the quiz, this is one of the questions. Then I should leave the answer to you as well. But the topic we were talking about is, so analysis services and reporting services, it's not, and we did that before already, but this is one of the questions. Analysis services and reporting services are part of instance features or shared features. Anyone already knows that? No. Although the quiz is open book, so good luck opening the book. And but anyway, if you Google, it's like this. So instance feature or shared features. Analysis services and reporting services are part of. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, this was one of week 1. On the first week, we installed and tried to talk about that. So definitely, it is week 1, and it's also I'm I'm going to be putting all the quizzes from the videos. So whatever we covered, or the answers will be in the video. If you have seen the video, you would be answering, or you would be going through the video again. But anyway, there are multiple resources always. Week 1 quiz was, I put it as easy as possible. And then week 2, week 3 quizzes will be tougher. And expect the unexpected. Anyway. Okay, the difference between these modes is as follows: multi-dimensional and data mining mode, the default analysis services mode, which we install, and we're going to be supports online analytical processing, OLAP, databases, and data mining models. So these are some difficult words that we have no idea about what do they do really, because we're not using databases, we haven't used databases before, right? And this course is all about maintaining the database infrastructure for those who have experience with running databases in production environments. So some of the words will be like flying by, or maybe everything flying by our heads, but what we really do there in the lab will make sense to us. And later when we touch that again, or if we are given this responsibility by our bosses, you were responsible for something else, and they say, hey, you have done databases as well in your degree, okay, go ahead, we have databases, try those. So all these videos will be very useful for you when you really go through them again. So let's go for configuration or installation of tabular mode analysis services. So tabular mode supports new tabular modeling features. Tabular modeling is different because you build a business intelligence semantic model using tables and relationships rather than cubes and dimensions. We're going to be going to the down to creating tables and configuring, because next chapters are coming. They are talking in depth into tables, but many of the big words have been already said before even we have done that, as we are going chapter wise. But I'm gonna be repeating some of these terms again, and then reminding that that's what we read before, and this is what it means now that we have gone in depth with the tables and the structure of all the tables and columns, how they relate to each other. And let's go ahead, and in some of the quizzes you will be reminded again and again about that. But right now what we are about to do is try to install, as this course is all about first deploying and then maintaining the whole environment. Maybe the database experts who have done the other four, this exam code is 462. The others may have done 461, which is actually developer, or for the programmers that exam is, where you go in depth with the queries and develop your own applications that connect with the databases, and develop your own also code statements. But we are responsible for maintaining that environment, and don't let that environment fall down or have a downtime for those developers and the end users who are connecting to that environment. So you can install analysis services from the command line by using the /features equals AS, which is analytical services, analysis services option. I should not even say that word. Okay, the the AS server mode can be set to multi-dimensional, tabular, or power pivot. So in these three modes, we can deploy analysis services for our users and for the developers who want that. We don't know what they're gonna connect to and do it, because that's in depth. If you have covered all three exams of database, you would know what's going on inside as well. Right now, we are just maintaining the infrastructure, right? So this is the code that I'm just going to send you as well. And there's a website called notepad.cc. Anyone heard that before? Notepad.cc. What it does, if I want to send this code, I can email it to the group as well, right? But if I put it on that site, you would get it right away if you're on the same site as I am. And whatever you paste there, whatever you put there, and everyone else puts, refreshes that site, that page at once, you will see that. So I'm just going to create one, notepad.cc/gbsql, and there I'm going to start pasting the code, so you would get it right away. You can also just copy paste to your SQL environment instead of writing the whole thing. Yep. Seriously? I know you're kidding, right? Oh, seriously? No, I'm just. I had no idea.
Oh, what?
Wow. What a day to test it the first time. GBSQL. Will be shutting down February 1st, 2016. Please back up and any documents before then. Hey, are you shutting down forever? Sir? Yeah, some other URL? No, it's... Well, okay. Blah, blah. Enter. Yeah, it's gonna be the same thing. We'll be shutting down. This notepad is password protected. Oh, somebody already has blah, blah. Okay, cool. So, I think it's for maintenance, but they did not mention maintenance. So, online sharing, that I used so much, notepad.cc, in other classes. And today when I introduce this here, okay, there's something wrong today. We are just 8 students, and okay, 9, okay, 10. And it's so nice weather outside. And okay, so let's not go to this site now, and maybe we can come up with something else. Well, I'll just email to you. But this would have been so easy, and there could be some other million sites that would share the data right away then and there, if anyone can Google. Okay, so any other site like notepad.cc, just Google it and you will find hundreds of other sites. So what we're about to do is try to deploy the analysis services by putting the code there. The graphical interface was the way we were doing there was easy, and now we're going to try to do that with the code. This is what we need to put for the exam objective as well. This is, I'll just draw it as well here. So we have our servers here, and we're going to just, yep, PW, dot PW. Same concept. Notepad dot PW. Wow, PW is an extension. Cool. Oh wow, exactly the same thing. Yeah. How'd you know that? But oh, it did. Oh, GB SQL. If I just try to create my own link for that, no, it's going to give its own link. Okay. So I need to send this link to you guys then. That I'm working on that. Start typing. So what I'm going to do is I'll send this or email this. So if everyone is on that, GB SQL. I am putting the code on this link. Please check your emails. So now I'm putting the code there. You could just copy paste from there, change the necessary stuff. So let me know if you are able to even open that same. So now I have put it there. This is it. Oh, now it gives me a link. Someone joined. Anyone is able to see this and copy paste? Okay, it works. Okay, cool. So this is the code for deploying analysis services, and let me just add that. So everyone is able to open that? All right, cool. So copy paste instead of typing the whole thing. So deploying analysis services. Can anyone type anything here and update from your side? Okay, or what I type, oh yeah, hello. Okay, update test. Thank you. Yeah, so copy paste ASAP would be better. Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, type right, change URL. But I would change it. If I change it, I mean, you guys would not be able to access, or I have to tell that as well. The only difference between the older site, which I was saying, and this one, in older one, we could create our own links with our own, whatever we type. This one, they are giving their own. But it's exactly the same concept. Oh, thanks for quick discovery. So deploying analysis services from command prompt. So this is updated there on notepad.cc, notepad.pw, and you could just copy that. So I'm just going to be adding more code to that, so you could copy paste directly and at once try it. But you would know that this contoso /KIERS, instead of this, we're going to be putting our domain name and our SQL admin, right? It's not like blind copy paste. You have to still edit that. So I'll just put that on magnifying glass now. So at the start of the statement, SQL, so it's not a SQL statement, it's just command. So there's instance name AS multi or analysis services multi, which is okay. This would be the instance name. There's a space here, and the network service. And then, so at the end only there is domain name and username. So I'm just going to put the SQL domain /SQL admin. That's the only change we're going to make. If you have a different domain name, you can put different. Otherwise, the rest is all okay. The last one, which is this analysis services admin accounts, SQL domain / SQL admin. That's the only thing I would change. Other than that, copy paste and start. So Control A or Control A, Control C. The code is there, and you could just go to this link. I have emailed the link to everyone in the, so please check that, click that link. Today onwards I'm gonna keep pasting on that link everything. If you don't touch it, I think it's going to stay there. Otherwise, just copy paste as soon as it's there. So I'm just gonna go down to the server and try to start this. What I'm trying to do is to add analysis services to a new instance, although we can try to add an old instance. So I think we created, everyone has yeah, we have 3 instances. So if I go to connect and go to database engine, we have the default instance as well as alternate as well as best instance. Everyone has that, right? No. Last time we were at least we have best instance, right? But not alternate, but we installed alternate as well. That was from command prompt, right? But anyway, if you don't have it, doesn't matter. As long as you have 2 instances. So any one of the instance which already does not have analysis services, we can deploy that there, or this command just creates a new instance as well as install analysis services with that, but we get to know how to install with the command prompt. So I'm just gonna, it's going to deploy the new instance, so be it. I mean, the more instances we have, the later commands we're going to be using on lots of instances. So let's just deploy that new instance as well. So what it's going to do, I'm just going to go back to that site. It's going to deploy this instance AS multi, and it's going to have these services, analysis services mentioned here, right? So if you run this command, so let's run this command and try to know if it's okay. So oops, not the deploying analysis, just this. So copying this now, and SQL domain, SQL admin is the only change we're doing there. So I'm just gonna go back now and plus, so magnifying and on the keyboard, Windows key and X, and run and command prompt. Shall I put it on command prompt? And command prompt also, I think I pinned it to the taskbar or not. But anyway, I need run as administrator. Once it is opened as administrator, I would just go back and pin it to the taskbar. Right click the icon and pin it to the taskbar and paste the whole thing. So I pasted it, but I need to make sure that if there are any errors or anything, so that's why I pasted it here. Let's just put it on Notepad. So I'm just going to go to the Notepad and inside the server, just to get everything on one line, or maybe we have to type in the end. So setup.exe, the whole thing, slash feature. So if I keep it like that instead, if copy paste doesn't work, of course we have to type it. So what's missing here? So if I just ASS, I pasted it directly, so whatever was missing is up there. if I feel more lazy, I'm just going to go and mark and just go for select and paste. Okay, that has become more confusing now. That's cool. Not cool. So yeah, install slash, and then I'm going to create a space here, and I just need to add this feature. Otherwise, just type the whole thing if it doesn't work, right? So I'm just going to add a space here, not this one. Here, under the A, add another space and put features equals AS. Okay, I think it's complete. So setup.exe slash q oh seriously, one more thing, is SQL Server connected? So I'm just checking, like the SQL media is there in the DVD mounted. So SQL mem01, sure it's mounted. Yep, it is. So I'll just D drive. Okay, the whole command is there and it started. Please review the summary text log, and it errored out. So the following error occurred: the specified value installed slash for action is invalid. To run in unattended mode, you must specify a valid action. Action R. Oh, okay. Is this the same error coming for everyone, or any other errors coming?
This is loading up on the
Oh, it's loading still?
Yeah.
Okay, then you're good. Because it came right away, because I did feel a little lazy. So I'm just gonna compare it with the actual text here. Anyone got the error? You're running it, right?
Mine's running there.
Okay, just like last time, I'm just getting the error. Okay. What? So /q. Install slash. Oh, install and slash action equals install. I think I already have that feature. Sorry? This one, right? There is space, right? But oh, no coffee today and the last time as well. Oh, seriously, it started. Oh, it's working. Okay, so what we need to confirm is analysis services is working or not. So it's no error till now?
Yeah, still on that loading.
Oh. Oh, yeah, now my commands are coming in. Yes, that's mistake I'm kept on doing. What's this? And now there's another one. So slash server mode multi-dimensional. Oh, there's no slash. I did not put slash here. Okay, once it is working, we can just carry on with other stuff. Wow. So for anyone, did it move ahead from the command prompt? Graphical interface? No, it's just still there, right? Okay. And no errors. Okay. Okay, next code is coming. So while this is installing, I have we all have the second SQL server as well. Anyone started the 2 SQL servers or total 3 machines? We've all started 3 machines, right? Or 2? Okay. Oh. So instance ID cannot be empty, right? That's what you got. So are the spaces, you could just check that slash instance name equals AS multi. Is that the exact same thing? Anyone else got that error? No? Okay. Still going. Hey. Okay, so far no error, so we can, yeah.
Sorry, it says slash instance name equals AS multi?
Yeah. Oh, I also got, oh, I think it's installed for me. Yep. So you can see this one, the instance name as this one. That's exactly the same, right? No spaces or, and before that and after that. Oh, so it's perfect. I think it has successfully installed for me because no error comes. What else? Yeah, you could just check this. Oh, I thought it was a question. Question. Okay. So it finished?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So how do we know that analysis services were installed? Exactly. So did you check that? No, because it might give you error now as well. So it should open, but if not, then we need to know that error as well. Okay, if it's installed, so yeah, this is the syntax with which it has installed successfully. So you can compare, or I'll just put this one instead of that one on the notepad.pw. So at whoever is trying, this is the one with which we were successfully able to install that. If you're getting an error, so I'm just going to replace that with this one, and it just worked. If your SQL domain and SQL admin is the same, then this is the one. So now if you go to that link, you would see the new code or the same code, but it works. And okay, so let's go for, okay, so now I'm gonna try to check if the analysis services is installed, if the instance is installed, and so let me go there on the server side. I'll refresh that first, refresh the server itself, the SQL server, and so let me check from Connect, Database Engine, and go for Database Engine like this. Well, nope. The instance does not show the multi-AS. Okay. Or shall I give it time? Second thing, analysis services. Were analysis services installed? Because we were trying to do that. So if you go to Connect and go to analysis services, in fact, first I would check it in the services itself. So SQL Server Analysis Services, MS SQL Server. So I'll refresh the services, services.msc, and we have integration services, reporting services for best instance. Oh, I already had analysis services installed for MS SQL Server. Although it was a separate instance it was installing, but in my case I already had an analysis service installed for the default instance. Yep. So I will try to check if the analysis services is opening. So in the command prompt there was no error. There were errors, but we tried to fix that with the spaces, proper spaces. And if I go to analysis services now and go to browse, there is the analysis services, and there are two instances. Oh, there it shows that this instance has analysis services. AS multi is showing under analysis services. So anyone is able to open the analysis services right now? You're able to open successfully, right? Okay. No. Okay. Hey, David. You get the...
Yeah.
Sure, you could start the server, and any of those labs you could join in, because they're all independent. It's installing, right? Okay. You also doing it? Okay. So in this line on your... Okay, cool. You're leading the, group here. For others, anyone else doing this? Or the monitors are too high? Right. The monitor screen should be very, very low. Or maybe my chair should be, a little up, so I could... Hey, how about if we close internet in the class? It's just on vote, come on. I'm not serious. Although if you find it next time not working, it's not me, really. Okay, should not have introduced this. But yeah, then you'll be bored, and then you will say, hey, why don't we just follow him instead of we can't do anything now. So anyway, let's go ahead and this is what we installed. Analysis services for this instance. When I went from Connect and went to the analysis services and click Connect, there you go. So analysis services starts successfully with the databases. So there would be those developer teams that would want to connect or that would request you as a DBA, database administrator, DBA, that please install analysis services for our instance. Our databases are already working, but we need analysis services as well, so we could connect to those services. So you as a DBA would just deploy the analysis services for that team. This is the way. Let's go ahead and try to know more about what else we can do as a DBA to add any component to the infrastructure. No errors, right? Okay, so checking the video. Let's go ahead and try to so it's I'll just change that to PW, notepad.pw, and it's not this link, / some link. Okay, so let's go ahead and to create an instance named AS Tabular with analysis services installed in tabular mode. So this is another mode, but the only thing in the syntax is that instead of AS server mode multi, it is tabular that we can write. So if the developer teams asks for tabular mode for their particular application, then this syntax would work for them as well. But we get to know that how to use that syntax successfully with proper credentials. So let's go ahead. But the best practice is to run analysis services by using an account assigned the fewest possible privileges. So you should avoid using the local service and network service accounts in high security environments. But normally these two accounts are always working, but not in high security environments, because analysis services connection strings and passwords can be decrypted and are accessible to the analysis services logon account. Okay, so yeah, in high security environment we should not be using this, but normally it is used a lot, even I've seen in banking environments. Okay, so reporting services delivers enterprise web-enabled reporting functionality. So you can create reports that draw content from a variety of data sources. So publish reports in various formats and centrally manage security and subscriptions. So it's, the name says it all. It's reporting services, and it's going to offer a lot of complicated ways to report, especially a huge amount of data. If you want to put into reporting services, then and the sources are different as well. One is getting input from Excel sheets, second from another application, insurance company application, third another third-party application. So and then retrieving the data and then making every report available in a smart way. So it is also complicated to configure. It integrates with SharePoint. Reporting services option was there in SharePoint. It's just that we could not get the chance to do that. Time was very much limited when we were doing the SharePoint. So, but this reporting services from the DBA side, we can configure that from the graphical interface. This is the way we can install that. Click that, reporting services, native. So we have already installed through command prompt analysis services. We can install the reporting services as well. This is the graphical interface which we already tried, but we must know the command prompt, because later we're going to be deploying it for multiple instances in a large scale environment. So if we have the tested code with us, it's going to be much easier for us to test the scripts for multiple instances, one service deploying for multiple instances on multiple servers, where the command gets really complicated. So as far as the graphical interface, it's just easy. and we already did that, how to add features and remove features from SQL Server in day 2 video. Some of the screenshots I've shown here, but the code is here to install reporting services in the default configuration for native mode from command line, from the command prompt, by using the network service account for both the reporting services service account and the SQL Server service account, and assigning members. So this is another code I'm putting there, but first I'm going to put this code on the notepad. Then I'm going to put it on word warp, like it should be just one full long line, and then I'll just put it there. So let me just start another one. So this code, this command prompt, let me just check here what it's doing. Okay, so it's going to be install, action is installed, features would be SQL Server, RS is reporting services, and tools. Of course, SQL means the database engine. Its instance name it's going to put is RPT SVR, the SQL admin accounts built-in administrators, which is already available in our servers. Then RSS V account would be network service, which is also available. So the only account we need to change here is the last one, or not. Oh, none of those. Nothing here needs to be. So I'm just going to put that code also on notepad.pw. This will install the reporting services, and then we need to check if it really opens or not, or it works. So I'm just going to put it there. So the first code was for analysis services. Now I'm just going to put it for reporting services, and later we can convert this to a one code. So I put it already. You can just access this link, which I emailed to everyone in the Google group, and deploying reporting services from command prompt. Okay, so I don't think there is anything to change here. It should start. Yeah, well, let's see, because right off the book it doesn't work normally. So I have copy pasted it from here. I'll put it in the server now, going back to the command prompt with administrative privileges, and paste. Yikes. Okay, it started. And should just add the reporting services only to our instance. Okay, so anyone getting an error? Nope. Anyone trying? Okay. And of course the quiz is now visible, so you could try. You have very less time, just 1 week, and there's a huge amount of questions, 10, so it's enjoy. Oh, okay. So in my case, I should put it on this. Yeah. Sorry? Oh yeah. Oh, okay, you're right. So I'll just put it in my local notepad on the server, just like before, because it worked perfectly. And make sure it's word warp. Yep, it is. Now from here, it should take it as one sentence. Oh, seriously? Still thinking it's separate. Okay. It wants me to. Really? Write it down. No, I don't want to write it down. Okay, maybe what about uncheck and then seriously, why it's not taking one word? Control C, Control C. Okay. Oh, I have to really type it. Okay, where did it start from? So, our CLS. Slash I accept SQL Server license terms. I accept SQL Server license terms. Slash action equals install slash features equals. Yep. Oh. Okay, so the rest of the it's taking one as one line. Yeah. In my case, it was taking 3 lines separately. Oh, okay. I'm there anyway. Oh, well, I can go with your suggestion, and there is that tools. Yeah. Yes, that's what I was. Okay, so did it take 2 lines now? Oh yeah, it did take 2 lines. So administrators. Oh, this line. So okay, that's the lazy way to do things. Network service, and then oops, okay, just put the space there. Anyone got an error? No one? You did not get it. It's working fine? Finished? Okay. Anyone got an error? It's working? Done? Okay. Still installing. Okay, please launch and don't give me an error. Okay, good. So it also tells us that from between analysis sources and reporting sources, it takes much longer time because it has to install tools as well as the SQL. Although the book is recommending that go for that. The exam objectives, the book that has to the point scripts, but I don't think it's to the point. I hope it does not just. Okay, let's as long as it's not giving the error and the syntax is okay, we get the proper syntax here. These two are working fine. These 2 commands are working fine. So we get to install from command prompt the analysis services separately as well as reporting services. What we need to still check is if we put the current instance instead of a new instance, does it still work? And it should work, but if the easier code is working, then the difficult code would also, not take that much errors. But if the easier one is not working, then of course we have a problem. But we just check that these two. So I'm just gonna even save those commands just as a record that these two are working fine, and it's a live addition. So okay, let's just minimize that. So analysis services, and reporting services commands. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and once reporting services is installed, it has a totally different way to open it. It installs its own configuration manager. That's why it's taking time. And configuration manager has lots of options, and it looks like this actually. The full configuration of many of the services and components it offers for the different applications to connect with it for the purpose of reporting, and especially SharePoint, but all other services as well. So the installation hopefully does not give, if it does not give errors, then it's in the process of installing the reporting services configuration manager as well, which has lots of other options. So it's bigger than the analysis services in terms of offering services. Did it end for anyone? Nope. Okay, so okay, while this is going on, let's go ahead and try to know what else is there. So going back to the slide, once the reporting services is done, we're going to see that in the Windows 2012, when we go inside to check the applications, this is how it's going to look like, reporting services configuration. We're going to click that, and it's going to open a window like this, where we're going to configure two more things. We're going to create its own database, a dedicated database for the reporting services, as well as a URL that we're going to configure for the reporting services once it is installed successfully. And we're going to just talk about other components of the reporting services here. Using reporting services configuration manager, which you can launch from the configuration menu, you can perform the following tasks. So the tasks are these: configure the reporting services service account, configure the web service URL, including virtual directory, IP address, TCP port, configure the report server database and database credential, which we're going to create now. Click apply and install for the report manager URL. We can access it from a browser as well. Configure email settings, including sender address, just like we configured email settings for the database. We can configure email settings for the reporting services as well. So configure the execution account. This is usually our domain account with minimal permissions. Configure backup and restore. So all about the SQL services, and then finally scaling out the deployment. The more if we want to have more than one server for reporting services. So you can deploy analysis services and reporting services as shared services in a SharePoint form. So this is where the SharePoint integration, there's that option available in SQL Server for SharePoint integration, but we have to specially have the SharePoint form available. So we should have, if we have that, there's some benefit of, then there's only benefit of installing this. Otherwise we install now without SharePoint perform in the same environment, there's no benefit. But we just need to know that at least it's part of the instance level settings that the SharePoint integration services are there. You can deploy analysis services and reporting. Deploy analysis services and reporting enables you to use features such as Power Pivot for Microsoft SharePoint and Power View, a reporting services interactive report designer. So in a SharePoint class, it would be much important, but here we could just deploy it just to know how to deploy, but we cannot use it if there's no SharePoint environment. To deploy reporting services, Power View and Power Pivot for SharePoint, you must install the following products. SharePoint 2010 Enterprise Edition with Source Pack 1, yeah, of course. And SQL Server 2012 Database Engine. In our case, when we deployed SharePoint, we used, I think, Express Edition of SQL Server. If we had a huge environment, we would have gone for the Enterprise Edition of SQL Server, and then we would have properly integrated that with the SharePoint server. In a small environment, Express Edition of SQL Server is also good. So all other components needs to be installed if you want to have SharePoint integration with SQL Server services. And this is how it looks like in the graphical interface. SQL Server Power Pivot for SharePoint. Integration services. So we have analysis services. We've deployed that. We have deployed reporting services, or it is in the process of being deployed right now. Then third is integration services. But before that, let's check if our SSD or super slow drive has done anything. So not done, right? Oh wow, it is long. This calls for a break. Okay, so it is 10 o'clock. We have reached 10 o'clock barrier. So let's have a break here and let the reporting services install, because we're going to be further configuring the reporting services components as well. It's a little more deployment and installation configuration. So pausing it now. So we were installing the reporting services through command prompt, and it's done. It must be done for everyone as well. Wow, it rhymes. So done reporting services. Some of the guys who are following. Okay, done. So and try to follow everyone with me, the whole thing, or you may be doing the previous ones, but the thing is that you should be following the current lab and try to stay more active. And once we have internet gone from the lab, we'll be active anyway. So, or not. I'm just kidding. Come on. It's your right to have internet, and it's your right to. Okay, I should not say that. Not listen, and just browse the internet. Okay. Anyway, so let's just go ahead and try to configure more. We have reporting services done. We need to know where is it installed and how to configure that. If I still go for connect here, and okay, let me put it on. If I go to connect and go to, so database engine is there, analysis services there, reporting services is showing here as well. If I go directly here, and it's going to ask what is the server name on which the reporting service is installed. In our case, this is the same server we have. Once we go browse reporting services, we have now that instance showing on the same server with which we installed the reporting services. We're going to be deploying its own database as well through its own separate console, separate window. It is called Reporting Services Configuration Manager, but for now we're just looking at how to access the reporting services after deploying it from the command prompt. Press OK here, and if we click connect here, is it opening for everyone, or did you try that?
Yeah, same thing as with
Okay, cool. So yeah, it's opened. Some of the folders are showing there. Above, there was analysis services that we connected to. This one is analysis services. This one is the reporting services. Analysis services. There has to be some applications connected to that, and there are some components which are related to Excel or MDX. VBA, but we're going to be talking a bit brief about or doing some labs for connecting the applications in later labs. But right now in deploying analysis services as well as reporting services, the components are here. Let's go to the reporting services configuration manager that has been separately installed, where we can configure some more of its components. And later in later labs, when we are trying to connect some applications, and that's going to be more trickier, then we would at least know where to go and find the reporting services and configure it. So let's just go inside the SQL Server and go further to the applications and try to look for the reporting services. So SQL Server 2012, if I go a bit further, and one day we're going to be locating this, or Monday? No. Okay, one day. So up top, exactly. Thank you. So reporting services configuration manager, let's start this and try to know what else. So it detects that it's on this server and report server instance. So the instance. So we in best instance, if you remember in previous labs, we did deploy reporting services separately in the graphical interface. Through the graphical interface for the best instance when we were deploying a new instance. Then separately we deployed. Now we deploy with command prompt, and the instance is also separate. We can go to any of those, right? But let's go to the new one and connect. As long as the server is the same and the reporting services are installed, let's just connect to the second one which we just installed. Click connect. So this is how this is the console for further configuring the reporting services. There's a service account here. So first of all, it's connected to that. Use the reporting services configuration tool to define or modify settings for the report server and report manager. If you install reporting services in files only mode, you must configure the web service URL. So we're going to configure the web service URL. The database, we're going to create a new database for this reporting services because it's just installed there without creating a database right now, or to an existing database it deployed. So this is service account. We can leave it to the network service, but we can also give it some higher privileges by adding a domain admin account here instead of the network service. But this one is still okay in our case. In a large environment with more security conscious environments, we would be putting some other account with lesser privileges. So web service URL, this is also for configuring reporting services or making it available through a browser or from a browser. There is that URL also showing where to access the report server over your LAN environment. So if you have a reporting server, you can access through LAN environment that server. So if we click this, or suppose wait a second, there's an advanced button here. Let's just try to click that first, and it just is offering us to bind this service to a port. So either it could be HTTP or SSL. If we have certificate services available, then we could go for adding it or binding the service to the SSL. But if we cancel out, it is HTTP only, and we know already that HTTPS is the secure one. With it uses certificate, it authenticates with the certificate. Certificate is the small 40 KB file that you have to have in your computer if you are connecting to some specific company production environment. Here it's just HTTP right now, so we can say that it's unsecure. We use HTTPS every day. If I say that, is it true or false? HTTPS. Example? Which one? Any email. We are using HTTPS, right? For the banking especially. So do you know? So if we go to gmail.com now, it's http.gmail.com, right? Or is it already HTTPS as soon as we open the link? Okay, so if we go there, well, it's Gmail, so it already has a reputation. So if we just go there, because if we go just for Gmail, so HTTPS already from the start, although, oh, you know what, because I'm logged in. If I go to Yahoo, because I'm not logged in there, yahoo.com, it's already HTTPS already put there. If I go to Hotmail, I hope I'm not logged in there. Oh, I'm logged in there. But if I log out from there, and it is also HTTPS. So if I was talking 4 or 5 years ago, when you would go to a website, it would be HTTP. When you log in, then it would be HTTPS. Now it has to be HTTPS according, because of all the hacking attempts, and I should not go to the sites right now. It's recording. Shoot, I have to now edit that. Anyway, so so this is the locally available link right now. If I click that, it's going to open in the browser. What I clicked here was the reporting services link that was showing in the configuration manager here. It's this one. So if you click that right now, it's using port 80. If it was HTTPS, anyone knows what port does it use? 443, exactly. So it would have been port 443, but we had to actually change that here and put the, give the SSL certificate, and in fact the port would have been available here if we go to advanced. But anyway, I click this link now, and the reporting services, well, the browser just asked that, so whatever. So it is not showing proper link here. So if I go and add it to the internet options, to the safe sites, and do not require HTTPS, add it like that, just adding to the safe site right now. And okay, it did not still start, and I was expecting an error here that if it is not properly configured. So all assigned, and there is that IP address. If I want to know mine, it is 200.2, the IP address. Well, the URL also changed here, and it's going to expect me to apply as well if I am not going for the name based opening. Well, I want to go for name based, so I'm just gonna keep it like SQL Server mem01. Hey, yeah, I thought I was on 2. So somehow it's not working. Apply. Who else is using port 80, or what else is using port 80? Okay, let's just try again. We're gonna just try to come back here later as well, because we need to configure the database as well, and then we can come back and check. It just installed, so maybe it needs time. It's not even giving proper error. Maybe that's what it is, because if it was error, it would have shown here. This is the page that is available for them to show right now, so it's working. But I wanted to show you the proper, site of the reporting server. I'll minimize that now because it's not giving any error. So there are some other components that need to be configured as well. So database, when we go to database, it is using, or is it saying anything about, so it's a report server, database name is report server. Yep, the database name is also there. So if I click change database here, if I clicked here down database, if I click change database, we can have a dedicated or separate database as well. Here, create a new report server database. Let's do that. So if I create a new report server database, right, click there, then it goes ask for which server name and instance name that you're creating a database for, and test connection. Connection is okay. So for reporting server, we can create separate databases, because this is a service that is widely used, that is connected to so many applications. Suppose you have 4,000 users that are using your SharePoint, and that SharePoint is connected to the reporting services. So, and this is just one application. If you have SCCM, if you have SCOM, if you have BlackBerry, if that's what I've been giving examples for, but there are hundreds of other applications that always use reporting services, feature of SQL Server. So it could be many applications at the same time connecting, and hundreds of users behind those applications are connecting using through that application using this reporting services. So if you are creating separate databases, dedicated databases for all the teams or all the applications that are making connection, that would be always a great performance booster. So we're just creating a new database here and testing the connection, which is okay. Next, report server database name is now report server, but we could just put it as, suppose we have a SharePoint, so report server dash SharePoint 2010. I'm just changing the name here. And temp database, it's also going to create two databases actually. One is the working functional main database, which has the extension of .mdf or the master database. The second one is temp database, which is going to be, anyone remembers what was the temp database doing? Oh, I did not put it in the quiz. Okay, next one. So yeah, so in the quiz, most favorite. Yeah, anyone knows what's temp database? Okay, from the name temp.
It's the temporary storage of all databases.
All the transactions going on
Yeah.
currently are stored here.
Folder, and it's basically if you shut down, some like power cycles, the transaction will disappear. So you got a backup to another.
If yeah, so the main database has a backup of that, but temp database is like for currently whatever we are doing, it's going to just save everything there or run from there, and when the server restarts, it's going to everything will be gone from there, and a totally new temp database will be created, right? Okay, well, yeah, it's no longer a quiz question now, so because it's not going to be fun if you already know it. Huh? Oh, okay, you're talking to them. Sorry to disturb. So next, authentication, yeah, service credentials. There are SQL and Windows credentials as well, but we're gonna just go for the local services that have already been deployed for that. So current credentials are okay. Next, and then we create this database. That's how we create a dedicated database, or we can create multiple databases one by one. We have to go through the wizard and create a database for reporting services. So if many applications are connecting separately with this reporting service, we can at least create separate database per application within the reporting services, right? So when it goes bigger, we need to know then which services we can make better for the, so now the database name on which this particular reporting service is running is report server dash SharePoint 2010, although we don't have a connectivity with SharePoint, but if we had, and there was a lot of traffic coming from SharePoint, we would have just created for performance separate database on a separate drive, of course. If each database is on a RAID 1, it would have been better, but it's all about how much we can pay, how much we spend. Okay, so report manager URL, that's the URL we were trying to check before when it was in that web service URL. And there is let's just check in the advanced option. It's still that same, nothing changed here. And in the advanced, it's using the port 80. It's the same interface that we can make changes in, but there it was also offering some more options. This is the virtual directory that has been created. If I click this again, it's gonna of course show. So I just clicked it and just checking, although it's the same link, and but I did add it to the safe site, so at least maybe by now. Oh yeah, it did. So this is the actual interface of the reporting services. Till now, no external application or internal component is using it, but the main areas are these, that we can create new folder, new data source, from which source the data will be put into the reporting services for it to create some smart reports. Report builder is there, folder settings, and then all the options of reporting services, subscriptions as well. But once we connect an application with the reporting services, it really populates a lot of stuff here that we can then play with. But the main thing is that this is what this is how it should open. And did it open for everyone? Like those were trying. Okay, cool. Okay, you're following or kind of today in observation mode, right? Oh. Okay, so okay, let's just go ahead a little more. These labs are just kind of independent. You could try the next one as well if your environment is intact. Anyone who comes late can still join with any next lab. If you're doing all those things on the same lab, if you don't have a separate lab, then of course it's up to you. That you're going at your own pace, at your own time. There's email settings, of course, for the reporting services, that the report has been created. Email, you could send email to yourself, to system admin, to the team whose application is connected to these reporting services. They would receive the email as well, but we have to set the email setting. We can just put the SMTP server and sender address, who to send to. And then execution account, if we want it to run with the special privileges, we can just create another account and give it some special privileges like domain admins, and then we can add that account here as well. Then encryption keys is just for extra security for the reporting services, and we can just maintain those keys as well for different teams. But this is all just, and then the final is the scale out. If you have huge amount of users connecting to applications, and those applications are connecting to reporting services, then we can have more than one server or 3 or 4 servers. If we have another server installed, we can add from here by clicking the add server. But there are some other components that needs to be installed for the other servers to be detected. Okay, so well, nothing complicated here, just the reporting services with its separate console. So I'm just going to exit out from here. We just created one database from there, and we tried to know how to add it to an instance from the management studio, as well as the separate console for reporting services from within the reporting services configuration manager. Let's go ahead. Nothing much from the lab side. So the screenshots would be few. If you're taking the screenshots now while doing it, that's also a smart thing to do. Otherwise, you're going to see the video anyway. You could just repeat that before the midterms. In the midterm, you have to create the whole environment in one go in 4 hours, which we are doing every Saturday, and we are having such huge gaps, like a lot of time to repeat the lab. But when you're going to be doing in one go, that's going to be very challenging. So try to repeat all the labs, or try to do all this in one go at home as well. And then the final exam would be, of course, everything in one go, right? So we're going to be doing some more complicated labs later by the end of this course. So the final exam don't expect multiple choice. It would be plus, all the labs plus quiz plus multiple choice, but not just multiple choice. So that would be, of course, good for you, that you do the whole thing in one go, and you would know then. So it's totally different when you do every Saturdays add something, and it's totally different when you do it in 4 hours, the whole thing. All kinds of new errors come to you, and that's the fun part. Go Google them. Well, yeah, Google is okay. I'll just block the YouTube. I'll block YouTube in this lab, and I can't. I'm just kidding. Okay, so but I'll be starting here. So let's go for next one. If I had SCCM here, I could see your screens without you knowing that, right? So I'll install SCCM with asking Cyrus, and then during the test I would just be looking at your screen and saying ha ha ha. Okay, anyway. Well, the test should be fun for me. Okay, integration services. Let's go ahead and this is so analysis services, reporting services, deployment from command prompt, as well as what are the components there and how to access them, what are those. Now we go for integration services, which is not the big deal. Integration services is a platform for building high performance data integration solutions. So integration again means that all those applications, once they are integrated with SQL, they will be using either reporting services or analysis services or huge amount of other components and features available for the outside applications. So integration services is responsible for input of data from different applications, external applications, including packages that provide extract, transform, and load (ETL). Extract, transform, and load (ETL) processing for data warehousing. So integration services can extract and transform data from a wide variety of sources such as XML data files, flat files, and relational data sources, and then load the data into one or more destination, which is reporting services or analysis services, right? So retrieving from other applications all the data is the job of integration services, and then putting it to reporting services or handing it over to reporting services or analysis services is their job. So configuring SQL Server integration services security, we can secure this integration services by not adding every one group and all the unwanted accounts. Integration services enables you to run and schedule integration services packages. So you can install integration services only once on a computer, even if it has, so this services have to be installed on the server level, and then it offers instance based services. You can install integration services as a shared feature in the SQL Server setup wizard, or install it from the command line by issuing the following. So now I'm going to put another code there. We need to know how to install because it saves a lot of time. Graphical interface, when you try to install the same thing from there, it takes much more time, but when you go from command, it saves a lot of windows. So the memory and the processing is lesser when it's through command prompt and more when it's through graphical interface, right? So integration services, the installation code is so simple. It's action install / features is, or is it? Oh, that's it. That's the code. So I'm just gonna put it also on that site. Let's go there. I'm just going to copy that, and I'm putting it on that same site where you can grab it from. I emailed already that link. The notepad.pw, and this link is already in your emails. When you open that, you will see this page and the codes. So how to install integration services from command prompt and the code is there. Whoa, that's simple. That's good for a change. But the next code coming is not that simple. So everyone, if you're go to that link, this link, and in your email, and just copy this code and paste it. And I'm just gonna copy paste now, because these codes will be important for you during the midterm and final exam. If you test it now, you will just run it and you will save your time. If you're testing it in the exam time, that will be a big problem. So what you run now successfully is what's going to be useful for you in the exam. And just save that code somewhere. Or if you have done troubleshooting and changed something, then of course definitely save the final code. Okay, so setup.exe/q, it started the installation. So in the exam, this would be a very good time-saving skill that you can just go for. Instead of installing those services from GUI, and it will take a lot of time, while you may have to do multitasking as well. You will be doing one lab while the other lab in the other you're installing. So if you're installing from command prompt, it's going to take less memory. This means you will be able to do some multitasking. If you're doing it from graphical interface, that will be the only thing you will be doing. So you'll waste a lot of time in the exam as well, and in the production environment where you will be finally installing that. Once it is in the background, it's not taking that much memory and processing, because it's not loading any windows to do anything. Anyone got any error? Nope. That's it? No? Okay. So this, you could, if you have your environment up, this command you can just run right now, and you can just test it, because it doesn't depend on anything you've installed before. These are all independent labs. Whenever you join the class, you could just start the next lab, and I will tell you, especially if there is a lab that you need before. Okay, there's an error. So no features were installed during the setup execution. The requested features may already be installed. Okay, at least this is not that error, where we have to troubleshoot something. We already have integration services. Because when we were installing through graphical interface or command prompt, we did select the integration services, so it's already there. But now we have the code that we know that it works, right? So I'm just gonna put it to my code list, where I'm collecting all the successful codes where I've made the changes and it successfully worked. So have your Word document and collect all the commands that are working perfectly. So in one go, you'll just start installing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 when we are having the test. So try to have all the successful commands in one Word document as your asset. Okay, let's go ahead. We are going to try some more stuff now. We already know about integration services, that they're responsible. So integration services enables you to run and schedule integration services packages. You can install integration once. Okay, I did that already. Command is this. Let's go ahead now. There is that managing full text indexing. So indexes is for search, and if you want to search some specific words in a big table where there are lots of rows and columns, and you want the search to be relevant as well, so we can have table level full text indexing as well. There is indexing or search capability already in the SQL server, but it's not it's on the database level, but we can, if we have a huge table. There are some tables that are having huge amount of information put there, and if you are having just one indexing on the database level, now one database can have huge amount of tables as well, right? Some tables could themselves be huge, some tables are small. Those tables which are very big, you could just create a separate specific search capability for just those tables as well. So that's a very granular feature. So full text indexes store information about significant words and their location within the columns of a database table. So in SQL Server 2012, the full text engine is part of the SQL Server process rather than a separate service. So only one full text index can be created per table or indexed view. A full text index can contain up to 1024 columns. So we're gonna now try to create a table and then try to actually go through the wizard of full text indexing, how we can enable search specific to a table instead of relying on the database level search. So there is one thing, yeah, I have to send you the Excel sheet. If you have Excel sheet with lots of data, do you have it? Okay, that's a very general question. I mean, like, of course, you may or may not have it, but I'm going to send you an Excel file, and that's the attendance sheet, actually. Or if you have your own Excel sheet, then we're going to go through how to add data from Excel sheet into your SQL Server and start searching, with the SQL Server. So it's, we were talking about integrating the applications. This is the simplest form of that if you have an Excel sheet with some rows and columns filled with information, how do you integrate, or how do you add or import the data from that Excel sheet? So anyone has Excel sheet with some rows and columns filled with data? Okay. Yes, no, maybe? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna send. Okay, so let me just send you quickly that. Okay, so I've just emailed the Excel sheet in the Google group, and you must have got it all. What I'm doing is I'll just copy that from my desktop and GB students, there it is. Copy it to my SQL Server, C drive, or wherever. So I'm just going to go to my downloads folder in the SQL Server and paste it there. XLSX. Don't worry if there's no Excel installed there, but we don't need that. It's just going to import the data from this Excel sheet. So everyone got it, right? Yeah. All right. So Management Studio, we can go there and so just okay. There's that database. So we have, or I have 3 databases. Maybe you have 2 databases: food, lunch, test database, or even one database is okay. Well, actually one is. So any one database which you have, I'm just going for lunch. Oh, the database, not the actual lunch. Oh man, why did you show me that? Now I'm so hungry. Okay, anyway, so there's that tasks, and then so right click any of the databases you've created, then go to the tasks, then go to the import data. So well, your Excel sheet should be inside that server, of course. So lunch, tasks, and then not lunch, the database, tasks and import data. Let's go ahead. Next, database data source it's asking for. So if we go for Excel here, so data sources Excel, but we can see that there are other data sources that we can configure, and we're going to be configuring later as well, access and flat file source. But if we go to Excel and Excel file path, so I'm just going to give the path for the file which I just copied, the GB students. And everyone got that? Oh, okay. Oh. So next, and everyone got this error? You got it? Okay, so I'll just send you a link because this error will come as we don't have that. So I put it in the slide as well. This is the error that's coming, and this is the file. This is the error that comes, and this is the file that. So I'm just going to send that link on that notepad.pw, and you could just go to that link and quickly download. It's a very small file. It's not going to take more than a minute. So it's on the link. Okay, download this to get to import Excel files. So there's a link here. Grab that link and just download that small file. Oh, after download, just run it. Next finish, and that's it. As soon as you run next finish, or I'll just do that now because I got that error as well. So it's on the link. Just grab that now, and I'm just opening another browser here, or in fact I'll just go inside the SQL server because I have internet there as well. Everyone should have. So browser inside that server, and then pasting that link, enter. Enter. Okay, one day it's going to open that link, or Monday, or Sunday. Okay, I'm adding the Microsoft site to the save sites. Wow, I have to do that. Hey, oh yeah, it's the peak time. Everyone's downloading something or streaming live. Educational material, of course. Hollywood educational material. Okay, it's there. Downloaded already? Wow. So this is it. 2007 Office System Driver Data Connectivity. It says 2007, but it's going to open that. It's going to let us go ahead from that error, basically. So I'm just going to click download here, and I'm going to click download here again, and maybe the third time. What? Okay. Yeah, I should have just used my laptop browser instead of, my host operating system browser instead of from the virtual machine, and then copied it later. Okay, so I hope it's about to maybe, or maybe it, yeah, there it is. Okay, save. Oh, it's 25 megabyte. Wow. 40%, 50%. At home, it's like zzz, done. And it's done. So I'm just gonna run it and next finish, and then go ahead with the import of the Excel file. Okay, click run. Yes, I accept. Oh, okay. Man, you overwhelmingly distracted me now. I'm like shaken. Oh. No, it's okay. You can yawn. Come on, it's okay. So okay, done. That's it. So I'll get back to where the error came. It's just next finish, and it should just let us go right ahead from where we got the error instead of starting over. So it should just let me go ahead with this next, and there you go. Okay, cool. So everyone installed? You did done? Okay, installing, right? Installing? Or same. Okay, cool. So it needs to detect the server name, the destination, specify where to copy data to. So SQL Server native client, yeah, this is okay. SQL Server is MAM01. Windows authentication database, yes, this is the database. So double check your database. If it's not showing, it should show. It better show. The database must show from where we launched. So next, nothing here. Everything is, so copy data from one or more tables or views, yes. And then this screen, if you're following, make sure to remove this $sign. This is one place where dollar has no value. So okay, let us remove this, and well, other than that there's nothing else. So next, run immediately, yes. Import the whole thing. I think there are 28 or 30 rows and columns, no, rows, 25 rows, okay. And it is all copied there. We could have a report for that, but it's this. Hey, okay, that's gonna give the report. So okay, close. So the table, it should be in the table now. Lunch table, wow, what a combination. So I'm just going to right click the lunch database and refresh, and then I'm gonna go to the table, and oh, you know what, when we were removing a $sign, we could have named it as well, a proper name, but whatever we named it, this is the name for that. So it's sheet 1, and it has, if we just go for sheet 1, although we can just rename here as well. Yep, here, oh, I can just, so I'm renaming here to GP students. You can just rename it to anything. So GB students is the name. So it's in the lunch, in my case it was the database lunch, then it's the tables here that I expanded, and under the tables it should appear if it was a successful and without any error. You've added that. So what are the columns there? There were a few columns here, and they are showing perfectly here right now as after the import that it's last name, first name, username, student ID, availability, all labs sent. That's what I was collecting during the SharePoint final test. So okay, that's it has been imported, and so one thing is that how to import from outside. That this is one of the ways to import data from Excel, Access, and other applications. There are other ways as well. Second thing is that we were talking about if we want to create a search specific to a table. Suppose this table had hundreds of columns instead of these 7 or 8 columns, and thousands of rows. So we are like, if this table was huge, the search capability, database level search capability would have gone through other tables and reached it, or while it is letting the user search other tables of this database and this table. So it would be a lot of work and a lot of processing. So if we could enable separate search indexing for this table, so when the user is specifically trying to search for this table or specific columns, the user would be able to search much faster if we are doing that. So what the plan is that, okay, we have a table here, why don't we just add a search indexing to this table? So it looks, the concept is easy, but when we're trying to do that, okay, that's where it's gonna get tricky now. So I'm just gonna go back here to the slide, and we just got over this error. You just downloaded this. So once the table is added, then we can configure full text indexing on it and try it as well. Okay, there will be a problem here, so let's just try to do that and try to understand at least. what is full text indexing. So if I go back to the server now, SQL Server 1, and I'll put it on. Okay, so full text indexing, is that option appearing for this table or not, or any table? So if I right click the table, and yes, this option full text index is available, but is this option available if I put it on the database itself? Nope. Is this option available, full text indexing, on the server side? If I go to, nope. Databases, no. So it's available on the table. If we just right click the table here, full text indexing. Oh, I did not check. Yeah, this was an instance level. And okay, so full text index, this means that we can have a special search capability for this table only. Otherwise all tables are already searchable even if you add them without touching this. So if I click this, define full text index, welcome to SQL Server full text indexing wizard. So next, everyone's getting this one? Okay, so now it goes really complicated. I mean, this is the 6th or 7th chapter that we are facing right now. No, I mean, we had to configure something more to even start this capability, but then I had to just at least show you the whole wizard. So I'm going to copy paste a smaller table with an extra column and extra information that the indexing needs to make it work, to at least let us see that wizard that has just stopped in the start, right? Stopped in the start. Wow. Okay. Anyway, cancel out from here. I just want to show this error to you, that in any normal table, it's going to show this error unless we do the next step. So this table is there. Do we have any other table? So in food, I think we created a table. Or not, or we created a table in test database. Nope. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a ready-made table, a table that can be ready-made. So I'm just pasting a full syntax of a small table to you on the notepad.cc. Copy from there, paste it, and there you go. I mean, like, there you will go. So going back to this is the table. The only thing that is different here is there is a primary key line here in the start. For the full text indexing wizard to start or to configure, it needs that primary key configured. This is what we are going to discuss in later chapters. I wanted to show you the wizard at least now. So I'm just sending you now there on the create table employees. So this is the table. So create table employees is also part of the table. It's not the heading, right? So copy and let's go to that notepad.cc. Okay, I'm there now, and this is the fifth code. Okay, for today. So creating a table called employees. Okay, so guys, this is, I've just pasted there. So grab from there. The actual table is from here to here. So it starts from the create table and then ends at this parenthesis, right? So but there is no data inside right now, but this table from create table till the parenthesis is the actual code that you're gonna paste there and execute, and it's going to create that table. But the main thing, in order for the indexing wizard to continue and for us to see some more aspects of that, we need to add this int or integer primary key. with an ID written here. That's what it's going to check. It should be a null column. It should be a blank column that's going to add, and we're not going to add any data here as well. Anyway, so I'm just gonna copy paste from here as well. Copy, and I'll just go to the SQL Server. Oh, it's already on 200. So this table can be created. So which database do we want to create this table in? So it could be any one of those. So if I go right click this and click modify, oops, sorry. It's going to give it to the default first database. So let's just go there and see. So I'm just going to paste it here. It's pasted, and then Control A, F5, or execute, right? So does it create a table? So commands completed successfully, and anyone knows the syntax to see if the table is created? Anyone already knows what to write? I just want to see if it's created or not. Show table? Okay, show table. And employees? What the name is employees, right? This is the name. Show table employees. Well, anyone knows the syntax to just see the table? Select star from. Okay, but hey, you tried, man. Others were like, and thank you, you tried. So please do try. Do try this at home. No, do try here as well. So select, yes, star from employees. So yeah, just up arrow F5. There you go. The table is here. Anyone knows if I want to input just the first name, last name? You can start the day 3 video. Oh, okay. Hey, you remember? You had a what? Sorry? Okay. Cool. Okay. Insert into okay. So insert into and then go for first name, but the first column is ID actually. So we could just leave it, and then does it all work? First, let's just remove this column. Oh, now it's saying, hey, what are you doing? So is it gonna work? Why? Which table? Okay, insert into employees. Okay, if I go way down or up, that's only one we have. Now what? Oops. Let's just get rid of that. EMPLO. Okay, it detects that. Now, the same syntax.
I think you have to specify the object, like first name or last name.
Okay. Should I go to the second line or the first line, or just I keep going like that? Null values, and it will know the first column, second column, third column, right? So if I just go for in ID, there's an ID value. So one, okay, then it's, as I was writing, John. It's still saying, hey, why did you put that ID there? And then two. Okay, should it work, right? Select. So F5. Why would it not work now? Anyone? Case sensitive? No. Well, it's yeah, it's not case sensitive. So that ID that we put up there is supposed to be integer. So if we put, suppose 2 5 near 2 Hey, nobody's Googling, come on. Or you're Googling something else. So, we cannot put, it can be only, null column, or, there's no value. If we go for, okay, let me show you that. Refresh. Oh, sorry. Hey, where did it create that? So it could be where did it create that anyway? Did it create that at all? Okay, let's just remove this, and now we will run the indexing, and then we will know something else, right? So F5, the table is still there, and connection failures, elapsed nothing, so elapsed time. Well, it's created, perfect, it's open, start time. Okay, let's just create an index which I wanted to show in the first place, but for that we need to know where is it created. So anyone knows where it is created? Can you locate that, and can anyone locate that right now? Which database it got created inside? And everyone is seeing this as not green. So, anyone found it? Where is it created? Sorry? Where? Which one? Yeah. No, anyone else created with me? Oh, okay. You were not. Okay. Those who were doing that, but you could join, or anyone can join. Sorry? Yeah? In the lunch. Okay. So, did you select that at that time? the lunch one?
I believe I did.
Okay.
My son is general database.
Okay. So are you able to right click and go to the syntax and then I right click and go to the full text indexing and go, and do you see that error?
I just get define text full text index.
No, but you don't get any error, right?
No.
That's what we wanted. So anyone else is trying? Okay, so you know what? I just need to restart. Close SQL Server .SQL. Now it's asking SQL query. No, I don't want to save that like this. I'm not closing the query. So somehow I lost connection. Oh, that's why. I'm supposed to be in the database engine. I wasn't reporting services. I was reporting. Okay, database engine, SQL Server 1 instead. Alternate best instance. Okay, default. I'm still not connected. So, guys, I'm just connecting now. Okay, go. It's supposed to be inside the tables, but I'm just going to launch that or do that again, so it gets created now. And oh, it's already there. That's why. This is already employees in the database. Seriously, and it's not showing. There's one technical reason for that. It's haunted, right? Okay, last refresh. Then what we always do and blame Microsoft. Just close this. Miscellaneous files. SQL Server. Save changes to the following. No, don't save the changes. So I'm just going to launch that again and create that table, and it's supposed to cooperate with me, because somehow it's not. SQL Server management, and I'll just connect to my database instance, my default one. Oh, now it's playing. It was not green yet before. So when I close and open it again, now it's showing. So did you create in food? No. Okay, I have to recreate that because I did not save it, I guess. Yeah, I did not save it. So new query, and it's in the food. So I'm just going to, I hope I already have it pasted. Yeah, it's there. So execute, create it, and should be in food. Refresh, and there you go. So it needed a close and open, that's all. So okay, it's here. What I wanted to show was that full text indexing, that we can go with the wizard for that. So the table is there, and all the columns should be there as well. Yeah, columns are there. And if I go to the design, that's what I was looking for. So if your tables or database are not ever showing any options or acting weird, always just think, oh, it's Microsoft, and then just close that window and open that again. Just blame it on Microsoft. Easiest one. Okay, so if I go to the design, it's going to show in the right side that all other columns are properly, the values are there, allow nulls, but here for the that full text indexing, we had to create that one ID key integer which we cannot fill value inside, right? So this is the key that we have to put indexes and keys. This is another chapter that how do we configure it, and what else we need to do here. So once we go through that chapter, then all of those databases will have this option of adding or configuring this full text indexing. Right now, whichever has this line or this column would be able to be configured. So if I just go now, before we had an error, hopefully now we're not gonna have an error. So all we needed to do was that add that column. So next, yes, we don't have any error. So it's looking for a unique index that has no values right now. This index poses a unique constraint on a single table view column and is used to participate in joins using the SQL Server query processor. So it has its own jobs. We're going to be talking about that in detail in later chapters. But right now I'm just trying to show that full text indexing. Next. So now it's asking which column exactly you want to add for indexing or search capability. Suppose there are columns there that may be huge, that have huge amount of data. So you could choose some of the columns from a list of, suppose, hundreds of columns, so and thousands of rows. So it sometimes gets or many times in large organizations it gets that big. So even you have to divide it between two tables. On table level, you have to do a lot of troubleshooting. Then it says that okay, if you have multiple languages, then you can also configure those languages here. Language for word breaker. So maybe first name, last name. We can just go for any other language as well if there are multiple languages that we can select. Is it oh, seriously, no English? Oh, there you go. Okay, so in this type column you can just put some extra information. Also statistical semantics this is for if some of the other languages when you type them, they have some special characters showing up or some dots showing up for their particular language fonts, and you want that to be searched and also translated specially. So you want them to not be excluded from the search while your intended search criteria has those letters as well. So it's going to include those letters from other languages, like some dots or some other characters that show up which is a non-English language. So it would search for those as well. So you could just go for that. If you have chosen some other language, you can just select this one where it's going to search some extra characters as well. When it's making a search, it's not going to exclude that. Maybe your information is available in that other language as well, and you really were after that. So if you don't select that, it's going to exclude that from the search. So this is some of the smart options that we can add there. So if we go next here, then it's automatic track changes on this table view as they occur. So if you're making changes on those tables, adding and removing names and cities and numbers, this will be automatically updated as well. Or you could go manual, that enter all the information, but whenever you want to update and whichever things you want to delete before the update, you can do it yourself, but we're going to leave it automatic. Whatever changes are there, we can just put it there like this, and next. And then it says that okay, there's no catalog created. You must select an existing full text catalog or create one for this database. If this is a large table or view, or if the chosen full text catalog has indexed or other large tables, consider assigning this table or view its own full text catalog. In catalog, it's going to collect all the information of what is where in this catalog for this table, right? And it's going to make a list of that, and virtual we can just say it's a virtual container that's going to contain all the information of what is where available in this. So we could have a faster search once we have indexed everything, or it has determined what data is what in which part of the table, in which column, which row. So I'm just going to put that name of the catalog as GB students as well. CAT for catalog. And then it's also for accent sensitivity. So although we're not talking and there's no street language added here, like yo dude, what's up? So it's not, but maybe it could search that accent detected, and I'm searching. There would be a robot voice, so it would be, what's up dude? Anyway, so accent sensitivity is sensitive or insensitive, but it's all about those extra characters that it's going to search for you if it considers that this is the most valid data that your search needs, or that's what you're looking for. So this is all part of that intelligent search. Select index file group. We haven't talked about file group yet, but we're going to leave it to defaults right now, the stop list and the file group. But we're going to next topics are coming for file group as well, where we're going to talk in detail about file group and then do some labs on that as well. Right now, full text indexing has some options that we get to know after we get it to create a table. So next, so it will populate all the information and try to index them. Or when we say try to index them, this means that it's going to have the information of what data is placed on which column and which row. So it's going to populate all that information here. We can create a new catalog where it can have, if you want to have different tables within the same catalog, or new table schedule, or when to populate or when to gather all the information from this current table. But we're gonna just leave it like that. That just when we click finish, just try to gather all the information and create an index. So when we search in the future, the index should be ready for us, right? So population would occur right away if there was populating. Will occur right away if there was any data here. I would have wanted to run this on that Excel sheet that we imported. Next, so it's just giving us all the summary. Click finish, and it says create full text and statistics semantics on. Error. There's an error. So anyone else tried that?
Mine was successful.
Oh, come on. That's not fair. Why does it have to happen to me? And we are both doing the same steps. So, yeah, I mess with it a lot. So, create full text index and statistical semantics failed. Additional information and exception occurred while executing a transact SQL. So, anyone else got that error? Come on, please. Just one. I just need one. Huh? Okay, you got an error. Yeah, I'm relaxed now. Okay, anyway, different error. What's the error? Failed? Oh, that's different. So, but mine's saying a semantic language statistics database is not registered. So, full text indexes using statistical semantics. Wow, somebody can say that fast. Statistical semantics fast 5 times and 10 bits for that person. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so cannot be created. So I'll just gonna go back and just uncheck that English language I selected because I was just choosing those options there. So I'm just gonna go back and try to not configure it because it's already configured and it's not letting me do that now. Okay, I'll go to the properties and at least get that language option out if that was what it really not needed. Oh, I selected a city as well. We can uncheck the columns. Did you check any column?
I think I installed master. That's why.
Master.
After that,
Oh, on that? It's not gonna work. But did you add that ID? extra option. The wizard just worked on that master one, right? Okay, we didn't have to do extra things. Did you do anything? Sorry. Oh, sorry. You did exactly the same? Yeah.
I just put the language for first name as English. That's about it.
For the first name. That's it?
Yeah, I didn't. But other than that, that's in the options.
The same are the things. Yeah, that's the thing with this, that you did not check the semantics even.
No.
Okay, let me try that. So anyway, it still is configured. I mean, from its side, it's collecting the data right now, and it's populating the data. So you know what, the syntax that I have that we can check to make sure that full text indexing is really working. That if we go for searching something in that table, it's going to search it right away. But also we're going to have to be a little, we need to add some data as well to this. So adding data, I'm just gonna get that statement available. Okay, let me just get that. So file stream. Okay, so I have screenshots as well, millions of screenshots actually. Okay, thousands. Okay, hundreds. And those screenshots does not have what I was looking for. Okay, there's that syntax as well, where I wanted to put a data in that table so I could search, and the search syntax is also here. So I'm just gonna add both of these. I'm just gonna add the whole thing here to the site. Now this is where you can input the data into the table, because we need to search something right now. So there has to be something in the columns as well, right? They are empty columns right now. So to put some data into the column, so I'm just updating that there. Okay, I put that stuff. So as well as how to search within this table for a specific word. So you can copy from there now. I put this information as well. I think if you know, this link will be available as long as, you know. So try to copy everything down from this link, because, you know, anytime it could be gone. It's on the internet. So I have put those statements here. I'll just put it, I'll try to use them here now in the table. So if I go and go to the new query, it's in the food. And so let's try to put some data inside. So I'm just gonna use the first statement. So in fact, I have to put it first in that notepad inside the server, all 4 lines. So the first line is insert into employee. I think it's employees, which we put there as a table name. Yeah, there's a S as well. So guys, there's a S. You'll get this error there. Let's see if it works. So I'm just gonna copy that here, paste. So all okay, Control A, F5 near comma. So we get to shoot it or troubleshoot it. Insert into employees. It did not detect that. Employees values Oh, it doesn't like Mike. No, it's not going to like Sandoz as well. Oops, sorry. Yep. Oh, sorry. Well, in the original syntax there were none, but did you try?
Yeah, I changed them all.
Really? Because it without quotation it worked fine. Where the values were? From here?
With last name is quotations are wrong.
Oh,
I think those are
this one.
apostrophes,
Yeah.
Yeah, but there. Oh, for everyone it has red actually. So did you remove them?
I changed them.
Oh, okay, to that the other one, this one, this right?
Yeah.
For all of them. Hmm. Okay, yeah, they're. Okay, how come the employees is still anyway? Execute. Column name or number of supplied values does not match table. It worked for you, right?
You Mike.
Hmm.
You the person Mike.
That's right. See, I did not eat, and only this guy ate. So I saw him, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, when you're in this seat, a lot of easy things get messed up. With chair, you get responsibility as well. Oh no. All right. What? Why did it change that when we copied that? But it did not do it, or maybe it's coming. It's wrong there. I mean, from where I picked it up, the wrong quotations. But it was working for. Okay, what I put there, are these wrong? Or did it change when I pasted there? No, they're
I
correct.
think when you copy and paste,
Yeah.
I think it interprets a different version of it.
Hmm. Where else did I? Oh, yeah, this is the only time I used it today. You're right. Okay, cool. So it changed it. Okay. So, well, good troubleshooting. So, now we have values, right? So, how do we look? What are the values in the table? It's easy now. Select star from employees, which is not detecting. Employees. Wow, it's continuously not detecting it. And that's there. Okay, so great. Now the search syntax. Anyone tried that? So if I want to search for New York, so this statement should be getting it perfectly. So I think I copied that here as well. So if contains, instead of description, I would go for the table, the column name. So let's just copy that. So it should be the city, column name is city, I think. Yeah, city. So if I copy that here, instead of description, sorry, first name, city name. I think this is not it. And here suppose it's New York. employees, select star. Well, F5. Cannot use a contains or free text predicate on column city because it is not full text indexed. Oh, seriously. I had an error on full text indexing. It should be working fine for you. Sorry, what's this statement should be working fine for you because my full text indexing did not work. So you're trying that? So let me know. Anyone else trying? Or you gave up? Come on.
No, I got it.
Huh?
I got it.
Left behind. You can stop me and you can ask me. But the code I'm putting up there. And what else? Anyway, I mean, like, oh yeah, this was a long one. Create the table and then try this, try that. So my full text indexing was not working. That's why it's not giving this. I should not have that. So I could just delete full text index and recreate again. Well, it's saying it's not created yet, so that's why it did not give me the correct search result. Otherwise, this statement should be working fine for those whose full text index. So I'm just going to quickly configure that again, full text index, and index all the columns. So search in all the columns, and the catalog which I created before, it detected that, which is okay. Populate everything, finish, close. Oh, it worked actually. It is populating, but it's not that much to populate, so it should not take that much time. Refresh. Refresh a couple of million times here, and launch, and we're in the food. Oh, we're in the food. We should be in the lunch. So let me just open the design. So when we change that and go for new query, now it's lunch. So it should be the correct table first, and then I'm just gonna put that statement again here. I should have named it. Okay, I'll change that again here just to get the search result correct. So what I remember is it was New York, and that was, the column name was city. Sorry? Oh. And invalid object name employees. Yay. What? Oh. Wrong table. Food. Employees. So I'm just gonna go, okay, I'll just control A, C, and I was in the wrong database, so I'll just go to the right database now. Design. When I go design and go new query, now it's inside the correct database, right? Thank God it's all recording because I'm going fast now. All right, so it does come up with that row that which has the word New York there. So if I make it wrong, EU York, wow, hey, it also means something. Like EU, oh, okay. So now it does not search anything, right? But when I put the correct one, now F5, so the search is working fine, right? So at least we get to see that full text indexing. But let's make a crazy thing. Hey, we had to go through the full text indexing and then we made a search. So does that mean we cannot search in another table that has been created without configuring the full text indexing? So in our case, GB students is a long table, a big table, and we did not configure full text indexing here. So does that mean we cannot search inside that? So let's go there, new query, and if I want to see everything inside there, select star from GB students. So it should show me the whole thing, all the names. Okay, there you go. Everyone is there. Hey, who can see his or name here? Okay, anyway, so let's search someone here. Oh, okay. So who should we search? Ryan. Let's search Ryan. Oops, what did I do? Anyway, I think it's, oh, thank God. It's, so first name, the column name is first name and me. Okay, name. And it's not employees, GB students. GB students. And it's Ryan. Okay. F5. Incorrect syntax near name. Okay, maybe no space.
Yeah, because if there's a space, it will only recognize by
Underscore, exactly. Alright, perfectly right. But perfectly, yeah, perfectly. Oh, okay, sorry guys. It's about to be 12 o'clock, so you know. Okay, now what? Include column name. Hey, I included the name. Anyway, let's choose some other column. Select star from GB students. No, Ryan was not helpful. Come on. Let's choose someone else. Who else is helpful? Okay, username. You know, that's one word. At least we don't get to. And we go for some ID. So username. And ID. Okay. Anyone want to memorize this? 100, 838, 631. 100, 838, 631. And go for cannot use or contains, or I really hate those errors. Index table or indexed view, because it is not full text indexed. Okay, if we don't configure full text indexing, it's not gonna search. So hence proved it's not gonna search. Small or big table, you gotta configure full text indexing to make it, if you want to search and you want to do it, to offer it to other, you know, applications, especially the developers who are connecting their applications, who are connecting your databases and their tables to make troubleshooting. They must, you as a DBA have to configure the full text indexing. Otherwise, it's not gonna search for them. So hence proven. And it's going to be, it's just 14 minutes more, 4 minutes, and we are counting. There should be a countdown timer right now, like down to the last seconds now. It's 12, let's go home. Okay. Anyway, there are some more boring things here. I mean, interesting things. So, but it was interesting, right? We get to actually prove that it's not gonna work without that. It's not like next, finish, and we're following the book blindly. We test it. We put it to test. Okay, file stream. Enables SQL Server based applications to store unstructured data, such as images, documents. Okay, I should have edited this slide. So such as images and documents on the host computers. Till now we were talking about just data, like last name, first name. Now we can, if we configure this feature, we can save movies and songs and games and nobody's still interested. Okay, so to use file stream, you must create or modify a database to host a special type of file group, after which you can create or modify tables so that they can use the var or variable binary max column with the file stream attributes, right? So file stream, if configured properly, can save your other data as well, as other than just the characters. It's going to save your images and songs and movies and stuff. You should use file stream under the following conditions. Objects that you want to store are greater than 1 megabyte. So bigger objects, your whole hard disk, The traditional variable binary max column limit of 2 GB does not apply to blobs or binary large objects stored in the file system. So it's a fast read access. Fast read access is important. So if your file stream in which you plan to save data like songs and movies, you need to put it on some fast hard drive. It should be created on a fast drive. So to enable file stream, perform the following steps. Open SQL Server Configuration Manager from the Configuration Tools folder. Edit the properties of the instance on which you want to enable file stream. On the file stream tab, select enable file stream for transact SQL access. Okay, so we're going to configure or try to configure that at least to this level, file stream level, but it goes a little beyond. It will take a lot of time to do that, so we have to properly follow up with this file streaming next class. It's time for quiz now. I still have attention of only 3 students. Others are like with headphones and okay. So hey, do you do this same thing in Jackie's class as well? Jackie's class also, headphones are there, headsets are there. Really? Oh, really? They don't show up? So, okay, what is the presence level in Jackie's class? A lot, right? About the same. Okay. So it's college life, that's all. Let's blame that then. Okay, so we're going to block the internet from next time, and you guys could bring your own movies. BYOM, bring your own movies. BYOS, bring your own songs. BYOG, bring your own games. And tick, 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 tick. And BYOL, okay, what's that? Bring your own lunch. Come on. So, but now I get your attention. Now I get the attention of those guys who never saw me after sitting on the chair, except for the presence, attendance. I'm here. Okay. Then screen and them and headset. So, you're gonna get the facility away from so many other deserving students as well, who need internet to study. Really? Do we need internet to study? Anyway, so okay, file stream. It's a a bigger lab. So and expect some harsher quizzes now because of your great interest in the class. I mean, majority. But there are some students who are very, very quick and following up with everything. So it will be so much fun to make your test really miserable for you. So I'll be like, I'll be like, see, you were not paying attention. Now see where you are now. So midterm, it's you and me. Okay, that was all.